This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning to you. It is 5:01 on this Monday morning, January 8th. Big day for a lot of parents back in town because the kids are going back to school.
Oh, they're saying hooray.
Yes, yes. Here you go,
Kids are not.
Get back on the bus. And the kids are like, no, don't let me go.
I think some kids are probably looking forward to getting back to school.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
Yeah, sometimes you just
see
feel
their
like,
friends.
The whole social aspect of things, I think, a little bit too. Yeah, we like school. So.
Weather should be nice for it, though. I don't see any issues there with your morning bus stop reports. Everything looks good weather-wise. A little bit cloudy out there, but warmer temperatures. That's nice too. It was kind of cool, chilly over the weekend at times, but this morning we're in the 50s most everywhere, so that's good news. And as far as the afternoon highs, well, there's going to be a lot of cloud cover around, but don't let it scare you. It doesn't mean rain showers in the forecast, at least during the daylight hours. It does, however, mean a southerly flow of air and warmer temperatures, so we do see our temperatures rebound back to the 70-degree mark. Yay, woohoo! That 70-degree temperature will probably be a hallmark of this work week's weather. As we head into the evening, 7 o'clock, something like that, have a slight little chance at a shower. That's about it. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
Thanks, John. Right now in your first alert traffic, if you're headed out and about, it's actually looking pretty good right now. A little slowdown on State Road 64 in Manatee County, but other than that, it's going pretty good. We're looking in North Sarasota County, a little bit of a slowdown again on University Parkway, but again, nothing much to see there. And then in South County, your roads are looking pretty good. Unless you're heading to Port Charlotte, you've got a little bit of congestion there to deal with, but other than that, not a bad morning out there for your first alert traffic. All right, topping our news this morning, this has been one of the most interesting stories of our area. A legal battle over a treehouse on Holmes Beach is approaching its final stop. The U.S. Supreme Court, who could accept or deny a local couple's appeal this week. ABC's Erica Jackson explains why those owners are still fighting for the structure despite daily fines and legal fees.
One Holmes Beach couple spent $30,000 to build this treehouse and will have to dish out 5 times that amount in legal fees.
I just found the tree itself fascinating.
Richard Hazen and his wife Lynn Tran live in paradise, but say their real sanctuary is 18 feet above the ground. People come from far and wide to see their treehouse built in this Australian pine tree.
They like the fact that it's on the island. You know, it fits in with the island character as well.
The couple says the project wasn't a secret. Neighbors and city leaders would walk by during construction.
Before we did anything, we went down to City Hall, asked them what we had to do to build this treehouse. They said, nothing in the books about a treehouse, just make it safe and don't let anybody fall out. Exact wording.
But in 2013, 2 years after construction, the city of Holmes Beach received an anonymous complaint and suddenly demanded a permit.
We thought every time we come up with something to work things out, it just doesn't seem to work with City Hall.
A lengthy legal battle ensued. The couple now has 3 attorneys, nearly $200,000 in legal fees, and faces daily code enforcement fines of $50 per day going back to 2015. And the city could cash in if the U.S. Supreme Court turns down their case this week.
If the court doesn't want to hear it, then we don't know what we'll go from there yet. We're just taking one step at a time.
Supreme Court justices were introduced to the case on Friday, and a decision on whether or not to take it up could come as early as Monday. The couple's lawyer says it's unlikely the justices will accept the case, since it only hears argument in about 80 cases each year. Still, Tran and Hazen will continue to follow the advice from a sign on the tree's first level. Never, never, never give up.
The case is not just the treehouse. It involves our property rights. It involves our petition right.
We reached out to the Holmes Beach mayor and commissioners on Sunday. We did not receive a response because it's the weekend, but Mayor Bob Johnson told the Associated Press the ongoing battle is a, quote, waste of time. Reporting on Holmes Beach, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Now for some real irony. Now, if the Supreme Court declines the case and the couple must tear down that treehouse, it turns out they're going to need another permit to do that. All right, look out, morning commuters. The roads and the sidewalks will be a little busier this morning. That's because today marks the first day back from winter break for both Sarasota and Manatee County students, which may be a nice relief for all you parents out there. In case you're wondering, the next big break won't come until March with spring break. All right, another elementary school is likely as more Suncoast schools are starting to reach capacity. Now, the new school would be located near Ashton Elementary School, near Proctor Road and Honore Avenue. Ashton is projected to reach 100% capacity by 2021. It's the second highest occupied school in the district at 92% capacity with just over 1,000 students. And that's an increase in almost 100 students from last year. Now, they're only beat by Philippi Shores Elementary, which is at 110% capacity with just over 700 students. This new school is still just a proposal, though. If approved, county officials want the school constructed within the next 5 years. And a man found dead inside a Bradenton apartment complex Saturday night is now officially a homicide investigation. Deputies were called to the unit at the gates of Bradenton complex around 5 o'clock Saturday night following reports of a shooting. They arrived to find 41-year-old Jody Pierce dead inside. Detectives are now on the hunt for a suspect. If you have any information on this case, you are asked to contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. And the Sheriff's Office is also investigating 2 armed robberies that happened over the weekend at 2 different gas stations. Those Shell gas stations are located along 301 Boulevard East and Lockwood Ridge Road. The suspect, which you can see here, entered both of those gas stations within a 35-minute period, and he robbed both of them, both the attendant cashiers, at knife point. Now, the 2 robberies happened within the hour of 3 a.m., and the suspect left the second gas station in a dark-colored sedan driven by a second person. Now, if you recognize the man in that photo, you are asked to contact Manatee County Crime Stoppers at the number listed right there on your screen, 866-634-TIPS. Now, those crimes, similar to another that took place overnight in Sarasota. The Sarasota Police Department is now releasing these photos of a suspect who robbed the Circle K convenience store on South Tuttle Avenue, also at knife point. Sarasota police do not yet know if this robbery is connected to the ones that happened later, but investigators say this man entered the store around 9 o'clock that night with a knife, demanded money from the clerk, then fled the scene with an undisclosed amount of cash. Now, if you recognize this man, you are asked to contact the Sarasota Police Department. All right, the decades-old water fight between Florida and Georgia is set to officially begin today. Now, here in Florida, this decades-old fight is actually set to begin. The justices are going to hear Florida's complaint that Georgia has reduced the flow of the Apalachicola River that runs from the state line to Apalachicola Bay and then the nearby Gulf of Mexico. The decrease in fresh water flowing into the bay, decimating the area's once thriving oyster industry. Well, Florida is looking to the High Court to cut Georgia's use of that water. Now, Georgia says the Sunshine State hasn't proved that it would benefit from any cuts imposed on Georgia in that case. And Governor Rick Scott is getting ready to deliver his last State of the State speech tomorrow. The topics are expected to overlap with what he talked about back in 2011, jobs and tax cuts. Now, Scott won office on the slogan, "Let's get to work," and he tried to build on that theme, though there's one change. Now, in 2011, Scott proposed a $5 billion in budget cuts and the elimination of just over 8,600 state jobs. But this year he's proposing widespread spending increases and then adding more state jobs. Governor Scott will leave office due to term limits next January. His next move, a run for the Senate. And the State House race to replace Alex Miller is officially heating up. After winning the Democratic primary, Democratic candidate Margaret Good has been hitting the campaign trail, going door to door. Now, she was joined about 60 volunteers over the weekend, including City Commissioner Hagan Brody. Now, the group's message, get out and vote. The general election for the House seat will be held on February the 13th. Early voting will begin on February the 3rd. Democratic candidate Margaret Good will be running against Republican candidate James Buchanan and Libertarian Allison Foxall. And Congressman Vern Buchanan will meet with Florida citrus growers today in Mayaca City following the signing of his Emergency Citrus Disease Response Act. Buchanan is going to tour a citrus area this morning, and he's going to meet with farmers to discuss his new legislation. The goal is to provide tax incentives to farmers who cannot afford to replace all those damaged trees from the last hurricane season. All right. Well, we're hoping for better weather this year because it's interesting to see just how much all the crops are affected by all the different hurricane seasons.
Yeah, it's true, you know. Yeah. There's some thought that maybe some of that citrus canker might have been blown around, or at least the bugs blown around by the winds. Yes. So hopefully it'll be quieter this season. But
that's what we're hoping.
Early indications are that it may not, so now's the time. Prepare for the
Yes.
next season.
Never
Get
too
it all
early to
done.
start.
Exactly right. We have across our region some pretty nice weather for you today. Warmer weather. I like that. I've been waiting for some warmer weather. It's coming now.
Yes.
We'll talk about it in a second.
Yes, feels good out there this morning. We've also got the weather plus the latest in your first alert traffic. And award season is officially on. Why 3 billboards, a sea creature, and Tanya Harding did well at last night's Golden Globes. We've got your roundup. And then coming up a little later in the hour, new details on that controversial book that takes readers inside President Trump's first year. Stick around, we'll be back.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, I'll tell you, after some of those weekend temperatures that were in the 30s, a 54-degree air temperature feels pretty darn good out there right now. 48-degree dew point value has also risen just a little bit, so that heated air inside your home feels a little bit better. Additionally, east wind comes in at about 8 under fairly clear skies, and across the region, temperatures are generally holding in the 50s everywhere. We have some 40s in well inland areas, but that's about it. 52 degrees in Wauchula, Myakka, Arcadia, Northport. As you get closer to the coast, we're even solidly in the mid-50s with 56 Longboat Key, 55 in Venice, and 55 in Inglewood. There'll be a little bit of showery activity back toward the Panhandle, but for us, we don't see that this morning. Everything is quiet on our forecast maps for the morning hours and really into probably most of the afternoon as well. Now, we will see a lot of cloud cover associated with this low-pressure area down here in the Gulf producing all these rain showers. And as you head further to the north, it's kind of a sloppy drive and commute up toward the Ohio Valley region. So if you are traveling today, say to Cleveland or Cincinnati You're probably going to encounter some airport delays because of de-icing and also some fairly heavy snowfall at times. For us, the low back to the west produces this cloud cover. And through the morning hours, we hold in the 50s. As we head into the afternoon hours, we start to see temperatures rise into the 60s and 70s, but we stay fairly dry. A lot of high cloudiness. We'll still see the sun poking through this cloud, but it'll be kind of dim sun. As we head into the later part of the afternoon, maybe an isolated shower, but that's really about it. Here's what's going to happen over the next several days. An area of low pressure developing in the western Gulf dives southward. And as it dives southward, it kind of falls apart just a little bit. As it falls apart, we get the cloud cover, but we don't get a whole lot in the way of any kind of rainfall around here. We develop, though, a pretty strong southeasterly wind flow that returns the moisture, returns the temperatures, warmer temperatures. And so this week ahead looks like it's going to be either seasonable or even just a little warmer than seasonable temperatures. So lots of clouds around throughout the day into the afternoon. Warmer temperatures getting back up into those low 70s, which is about average for this time of year, maybe even a little warmer in the days ahead. And then just that small shower chance at about 50% around 4 or 5 o'clock this evening through around 7, 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow that'll hold true as well. But watch the futurecast as the low dives southward into Gulf waters. This is at 6 o'clock this morning. Move it through time. And you see, really, we don't get a whole lot more than just some cloud cover, even as we head into the evening hours. I'll put in that 20% chance of a shower just because a few of the showers may make it into the region. But generally, that whole low just kind of falls apart before bringing us too much in the way of rainfall right straight through Wednesday. We will put in about a 20% chance of a shower Tuesday and Wednesday just because that low's proximity. But as I mentioned, it's not producing much in the way of rain. Southeast wind at about 10 knots continues to keep us warm through the period. Both Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday look good with about a 20% chance of showers. As we head into Thursday and Friday, we'll watch for increasing cloud cover and a good chance of rain as a significant front moves through on Friday with good rainfall. That could be a first alert weather day. And then as we head into the weekend, clearing but a little bit cooler. Back to you.
All right, time to take a look at your first alert traffic out there. If you're headed into Manatee County, it's actually looking pretty good on the roads this morning. No real congestion or backups to speak of. In Sarasota County, again, it's looking pretty good. You've got a little bit of congestion starting there on Fruitville Road and a little bit of your normal traffic on University Parkway, but that's about it. Other than that, if you're heading into South County, again, those roads are looking pretty good out there today. All right, it is 5:17 and the 2018 Movie Award season is now in full swing. From billboards to fallen Olympic skaters to sea creatures. It kicked off last night with the Golden Globe Awards. ABC's Daniel Backus has the latest from LA.
It was a sea of black as celebrities wore the color in a show of solidarity to fight sexual harassment and inequality. Many also wearing pins with the slogan, "Time's Up."
Time's up on this imbalance of power that makes space for abuse and discrimination.
Host Seth Meyers beginning the evening tackling the political tone set on the red carpet.
Good evening, ladies and remaining gentlemen.
The first award of the night?
Nicole Kidman!
Going to Nicole Kidman for lead actress in a limited series or TV movie. The show also winning big in the Best Supporting Actor and Actress category and for Best Limited Series.
The Handmaid's Tale!
The Handmaid's Tale winning big for Best Drama Television Series and Elizabeth Moss for Best Actress in a TV Series.
We are the story in print, and we are writing the story ourselves.
Sterling K. Brown, this is us!
This is Us actor Sterling K. Brown taking the award for Best Actor in a TV Series.
What I appreciate so much about this thing is that I'm being seen for who I am and being appreciated for who I am.
And James Franco winning Best Actor in Disaster Artist for playing Tommy Wiseau, who he brought on stage. Oprah Winfrey made history becoming the first African-American woman honored with the Cecil B. DeMille Award.
So I want all the girls watching here and now to know that a new day is on the horizon.
And for Best Picture,
3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
The Golden Globes is said to offer one of the best previews of what and who will win at the Oscars, which airs right here on ABC on March 4th. Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, happening today closer to home, Manatee County parents can start choosing which schools they want their children to be enrolled in for the 2018-2019 school year. Our Marla Spence joined us now live from Manatee County with more on the school choice open enrollment period. Marla, who is it that qualifies starting today?
Well, Stephanie, starting today, high school students are the ones that are qualifying to enroll into a school other than the ones that they are currently attending, and that's for the 2018-2019 school year. Now, Stephanie, this building right behind me, which is the Office of Student Assignment, is where parents will be coming to enroll their students into that new school year. Now, this is the time when parents can enroll their students and for that new school year without having any reason on why they want their child to go into another school. Now, open enrollment starts today for high school, and that runs until January 19th, and the middle school session runs till February 5th to the 16th, and elementary school session also runs March 5th through the 16th. Back to you, Stephanie.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. Coming up, we've got more news that is happening on the Suncoast. Now, over at Cape Canaveral, SpaceX made their first launch of 2018. We'll tell you why there's some secrets regarding this one. And then coming up at 5:30, we've got the numbers on just how well Florida retailers did over the holidays. Stick with us, those stories and more when we come back.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
All right, just a quick reminder, have a story idea for us or have some photos you'd like to share. We would love to hear from you on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, or you can check out our new Instagram page as well. That one takes you behind the scenes here at ABC7, or connect with myself, Ray, or John Scalzi as well. And for the latest on local and breaking news, plus your first alert forecast and traffic, just download the updated version of our app. You can check out WWSB or My Suncoast for both of those. All right, well, over at Cape Canaveral, SpaceX has launched a secret satellite codenamed Zuma on its first flight of the new year. More on the launch in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bite, a mystery-shrouded mission.
SpaceX delivered a government spacecraft called Zuma into orbit. Very few details were given about the launch. The commentary stopped about 5 minutes into flight, and it's not clear exactly which arm of the government funded the launch.
SpaceX also, once again, guided the first stage rocket booster back to Earth to be reused.
And a Samsung TV is getting early buzz at the Consumer Electronics Show.
It's called the Wall because it's 146 inches.
Big.
Samsung says it'll be available this year. No price as yet. And two major Apple investors say the iPhone is toxic for children. They want Apple to help parents control how much their kids use their iPhones.
And they also want a study of the impact of the overuse of smartphones on mental health. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Lyrica.
To most people, I look like most people. But on the inside, I feel chronic, widespread pain. Fibromyalgia may be invisible to others, but my pain is real.
Fibromyalgia is thought to be caused by overactive nerves. Lyrica is believed to calm these nerves.
I'm glad my doctor prescribed Lyrica.
For some, Lyrica delivers effective relief for moderate to even severe fibromyalgia pain and improves function. Lyrica may cause serious allergic reactions, suicidal thoughts or actions. Tell your doctor right away if you have these, new or worse depression, unusual changes in mood or behavior, swelling, trouble breathing, rash, hives, blisters, muscle pain with fever, tired feeling, or blurry vision. Common side effects: dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, swelling of hands, legs, and feet. Don't drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. Don't drive or use machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. Those who've had a drug or alcohol problem may be more likely to misuse Lyrica.
With less pain, I can do more with my family.
Talk to your doctor today. See if Lyrica can help.
Planning a Carnival Fantasy Cruise out of Mobile? Then check out the park and cruise packages at the luxurious Battle House and Renaissance Riverview Plaza hotels. Stay at the Battle House for $169 per night, or the Riverview Plaza for just $149 per night, and leave your car for the duration of your cruise. Includes transportation to and from the cruise terminal. If you're cruising out of Mobile, come stay with us. Call 1-800-MARRIOTT or visit Marriott.com now.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Coming up this morning on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest on that controversial book that claims to take readers inside President Trump's White House during the first year, plus big lottery winnings this weekend, and big football matchups yesterday. We'll tell you who's heading to the next round of playoffs. We've got those stories and more coming at you right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning. It is 5:30. It is Monday, January 8th, and I'm Stephanie Webb. Ray Collins has the day off today.
He does. I hear you spent most of the weekend watching football.
I did. So much football in my life this weekend. It's a good weekend. I'm not ready to let it go just yet. Like, I love the Super Bowl, but then it's like a sad end because it's like your football season is done till August.
I'm waiting for the Super Bowl. I love the Super Bowl.
So much
That's
football.
such a big show.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. We have a nice changing weather for you today. We have warmer temperatures, and I know everybody's ready to hear that.
We'll take that.
It's been so cold lately, and now we're seeing temperatures that are, you know, as much as 20 degrees warmer than they were just a few days ago. So we like it. 54 degrees in Sarasota, Bradenton coming in at 51, 52 in inland areas, and then close to the coast, a little bit warmer coming in the mid to upper 50s. A lot of cloud cover around today, but don't let it scare you. It doesn't mean showers. A lot of folks heading back to school. The bus stop should be rain-free during the morning and really when they come home this evening at around 3. In fact, the forecast shaping up like this. At 7 a.m. this morning, 55 degrees and lots of cloud cover, but no rainfall. Warm temperatures as we develop that southeast wind by noon. We'll get up close to the 70-degree mark by then, and we will certainly be there by 3 p.m. in the afternoon under rain-free skies. There is a chance of showers late in the day, though. We'll be talking about that in detail in a few.
All right, thank you, John. If you're headed out and about this morning, it's pretty easy going if you're heading in Manatee County. You're starting to see a little bit of congestion there if you're heading into Manatee County from the Palmetto, Ellenton area. Other than that, not too bad. And then over in North Sarasota, a little bit of a slowdown out there on Fruitville Road, and then your normal slowdown around University Parkway, and a little bit of a glitch right there on Clark Road. And then in South County, the roads are looking pretty good out there if you're headed northbound or southbound on 41. You've actually got pretty easy going this morning. All right, this hour, faced with a growing backlash, President Trump's former chief strategist Steve Bannon released a statement over the weekend in support of the president. He angered Trump with Presidents to author Michael Wolff in Fire and Fury. ABC's Lana Zach has the story.
President Trump on Twitter is calling himself a genius, quote, and a very stable genius at that. After allegations in the new book Fire and Fury question his mental fitness, the president's CIA director asked to respond on Face the Nation.
The president said he is a stable genius. Is he?
I'm with the president nearly every day. We engage in complex conversations about some of the most weighty matters facing the world.
Author Michael Wolff claims members of Trump's inner circle have brought up the 25th Amendment, the constitutional mechanism to remove a president from office. Here he is on Meet the Press.
So 25th Amendment is a concept that is alive every day in the White House.
Current presidential advisor Stephen Miller fought against that claim, leading to a heated exchange with Jake Tapper on CNN.
Stephen, I'm trying to get to the issue of the president's fitness, which a lot of people are questioning. I'm getting to the issue of your fitness.
Finally being cut off and, according to a source at CNN, escorted out by security.
I think I've wasted enough of my viewers' time. Thank you, Stephen. As Republicans, lawmakers call for Attorney General Jeff Sessions to resign.
And over the weekend, Steve Bannon, the source of many of the most damaging accusations, is trying to repair relationships, releasing a statement saying, "I regret that my delay in responding to the inaccurate reporting regarding Don Jr. has diverted attention from the president's historical accomplishments in the first year of his presidency."
Bannon does not, however, deny that he called that 2016 meeting at Trump Tower between the president's son, campaign officials, and a Russian lawyer, quote, treasonous, but he says those comments were directed at then campaign manager Paul Manafort and not the president's son. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Well, farmers and football are on President Trump's agenda today. First off, he's going to head to Tennessee, where he's scheduled to speak at the American Farm Bureau Federation in Nashville this afternoon. Then he's going to be talking about the administration's rural and farm policy there. Now, from there, he's going to head to Georgia for the College Football National Championship. He's going to be watching the University of Georgia Bulldogs take on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Trump is expected to be joined by Agriculture Secretary and former Georgia Governor Sonny Perdue, and then as well as Nick Ayers. He's a Georgia native who is also Chief of Staff to Vice President Mike Pence. Well, the monster storm that dumped more than a foot of snow across nearly a dozen states is now bringing strong northwest winds and frigid Arctic air. More than 20 million residents in the Midwest remain under a weather advisory. But there is some good news. The National Weather Service says a reprieve is on the way for later on this week. Temperatures are predicted to reach 10 to 20 degrees above average in some spots. Many, of course, were left stranded at airports like JFK. A water main break at the airport didn't really help that situation. Close to 500 delays were reported there over the weekend. And in consumer news, nearly half of renters can't afford their rent. That's according to a Harvard report. Almost 21 million people were considered burdened by the price of their rent in 2016. meaning more than 30% of income is dedicated to housing and utilities. Some are even in worse shape. 25% of renters pay more than half of their income just for housing. But there is some good news. An improving economy and rising paychecks have helped ease the burden for some renters. But affluent renters, combined with high building and land costs, are driving those prices up. And during a struggling time for brick and mortar retailers, this holiday season was actually very good to Florida vendors, as most experienced an increase in sales. Now, nationally, numbers were up between 5 and 6%, and that increase is the largest year-over-year gain since 2011. Topping the list was technology and appliance stores with an increase of more than 10%. And of course, online shopping set a few new records as well.
People still want to shop, and they want to shop whenever and wherever they want to do it, whether that's in person, whether that's on their couch, whether that's, on their laptop or on their iPhone, walking around, downtown. And the retailer that captures that market the best is the one that's going to be able to be most successful.
And the most popular gifts that shoppers bought this holiday season include iPhones, 4K TVs, and my favorite, Star Wars toys. Well, it's also been $1 billion lottery weekend. A lone Powerball ticket has been sold in New Hampshire, matching all 6 numbers. Is going to claim a $559.7 million jackpot. Crazy. It came one day after a Mega Millions ticket was sold in the Tampa Bay area, Port Richey, worth $450 million. Now, since Reed's Ferry Market opened this morning, dozens of excited regulars have already stopped by the small New Hampshire convenience store that sold that winning Powerball ticket to congratulate the owner, chat about the win, and probably buy some tickets of their own.
First, I started with myself. First, I thought my store is having an emergency, like a frozen pipe or a fire or something. When I get the phone call at 5 a.m., I've been told that we sold the winning lottery ticket, and print it again. That's not, can you look again at the ticket? And sure enough, it was.
Now, as always, the stores get reward of their own. The store is going to receive a $75,000 bonus just for selling that winning ticket. Happening today in Manatee County, parents can start choosing which schools they want their children to be enrolled in for the 2018-2019 school year. Our Marla Spence joins us live from the Manatee County Office of School Assignment. Now, we've got more on the school choice open enrollment. Marla, who all qualifies? It's going to be starting today.
Good morning, Stephanie. High school students will be the ones qualifying starting today for that open enrollment period in the building right behind me, which is the student assignment offices, where parents will be enrolling their kids into a school of their choice other than the one that they are assigned to for the 2018-2019 school year. Now, this is the time of the year where parents can request to have their child transferred to another Manatee County high school without a reason. Enrollment is open only, like I said, to high school students starting today, and that enrollment period for high school students will last until the 19th. Now, middle school students will start their session February 5th up until the 16th, and then elementary school students runs from March 5th through the 16th. Now, if parents want to enroll their students, or their kids rather, into a school other than the one that they are assigned to, they can come right here to 1400 First Avenue East in Palmetto, or they can pick up an application at any Manatee County high school. Back to you, Stephanie.
All right, thanks so much, Marla. All right, 5 people were rescued and hospitalized after their canoe capsized near Longboat Key. Fire rescue officials say a local fish captain pulled 5 people out of the water after that canoe flipped and brought them to emergency crews at Cannons Marina. Now, 3 of those victims were children, all under the age of 12. The kids were airlifted by helicopter to All Children's Hospital, while the 2 adults on board were taken to Blake Medical Center to be treated for exposure to those cold water temperatures. Well, Wild Card Weekend came to a bittersweet end. We saw close games, some comebacks, almost, defense and offense across 4 weekend games. NFC South wrapped up the weekend with a shootout. It was the Panthers visiting the division champ Saints. Panthers did not score a touchdown until the 4th quarter. Cam Newton to Greg Colson cut the deficit to 5 points. Drew Brees and the Saints offense, they really were the story of that game. But that didn't stop Carolina from attempting to come back, but the Saints hold on to that win at home, 31-26. Now the Saints are going to be marching north to face the Vikings this weekend. That's going to be a good game. And the Jacksonville Jaguars won a pitching duel in North Florida against the Bills. Ray Collins is going to be so sad about this. Florida grad Jalen Ramsey, he sealed it with a controversial 4th quarter interception. And UCF alum Blake Bortles, he finished 12 of 23 passing for 87 yards and the game's only touchdown. He becomes the first quarterback to win a playoff game with less than 100 passing yards since Steve McNair way back in 1999. Hey, but a win is a win, and Bortles thanked his defense afterwards, which held Buffalo to 263 total yards.
We still got to find ways to move the ball and be more efficient and put up more points to give them some more help. But they had our back today, and we were able to find a way to win.
Yeah, Bortles did plenty of record-setting. He ran for 88 yards, becoming just the fourth quarterback to win in the playoffs with more yards running than actually throwing. Now the Jags won 10-3, and now they're going to be moving on. They're going to play the Steelers this weekend. Another good game in front of us. Oh, and here is my favorite story of the weekend. Now, different people have different definitions of a perfect season, and I'm thinking Cleveland, they know how to embrace a certain kind of season. Hundreds of Cleveland Browns fans, they turned out over the weekend for a parade that protested the Browns' 0-16 winless season. It was like a parade for the perfect season. It was just a perfectly losing season. They showed up in sub-zero wind chill weather to let their frustrations out. And then you had those protesting the protest coming out to celebrate the Browns regardless of their record.
I know people are sort of opposed to the parade because they think it's against the players. I actually support the players. My float here is a pair of Josh Gordon's touchdown shades. So along the parade route, we're going to throw pairs of black touchdown shades to the crowd along the way.
We know we're not the greatest team, but everyone's coming out just to support the city and have some good camaraderie at the end of the season.
And the good news, the protesting of the protesting is all for good cause. Organizers will be donating over $14,000 to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, in addition to all the food that they collected on site. And we're pretty sure that Cleveland fans are sick of this platitude, but there is always next year. And as a Detroit Lions fan, I understand what Cleveland is doing. Sometimes you just have to embrace those not-so-great seasons and hope for the best next year.
They've had a lot of practice at doing that.
They've had a lot of practice, yes.
They're pretty good at it.
You're going to do better next season. It's fine, Cleveland. It'll be okay.
Right. That's right. So are we.
Yes, it'll be good.
We have some pleasant weather for you today. Warmer weather coming our way in terms of temperature, and also sky cover, I think, over the course of the next couple of days. It might be a little bit cloudy, but it'll be warm. So we'll talk about that coming up.
All right. In addition to the first alert weather, we're going to have your first alert traffic. And this flu season is still going to continue to be a bad one. We're going to tell you how to keep yourself healthy up next in Health Smart.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if your loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills and
that's when all my priorities seem to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
For years and years, we have looked at empirical evidence that these March elections produce abysmal results. We have looked at that, we have stared it in the face, and we have done nothing.
Spring elections in Sarasota, another attempt to move voting to the fall. What's the objection? I'm Alan Cohen. I'll vote for you to tune into the Travis Away.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we have a little bit of cloud cover out there, but the temperatures have risen and they're kind of pleasant out there compared to where we were, 48 hours ago. 54-degree air temperature, dew point coming in at 48. That 48-degree dew point also making the heated air inside your home feel a little bit more comfortable as opposed to the dew points that were in the teens and 20s earlier this week. See, east wind coming in at about 8, or earlier last week, I should say. We have across the region 51 degrees in Mayaca, 52 Lakewood Ranch, 56 Longboat Key, Venice at 55, and Inglewood at 55. So pretty uniform temperatures, a little bit warmer closer to the coast, a little bit cooler in inland areas. This morning, as we progress through the morning, we're going to see this cloud cover around, and then as we head into about the 10 o'clock hour, the cloud cover will be with us, but we still remain rain-free as we watch our temperatures start to climb up into the 60-degree range or near to it. And then by noon, everything looks pretty quiet with just a few breaks in the clouds. You'll see the sun peek through in places, but it's going to be a dim sun today. And you won't see much in the way of rainfall throughout the morning or afternoon hours. By 2:30, cloud cover still around with, again, some breaks. Now, as we head into the evening hours around 6 or 7 o'clock, you may see some showers kind of trying to creep closer to us. So we'll put in about a 20% chance of a shower, but really, that's about it. It's not a big rain day. Over the next several days, with a low-pressure area out in Gulf waters, we have a chance of seeing a shower or two around, but basically it's going to be a mix of sun and clouds with more clouds than anything else until we get to Wednesday, when we start to break out into a little bit more sunshine and reduce our chances of rainfall. Then we wait until we get till about Thursday, Friday, when we see another more potent front come through with a better chance of rainfall and knock back our temperatures just a little bit. Until then, we're under the influence of this southwest wind or southeast wind, which will keep us in those warm temperatures. We have that cloudy area back to the west producing some rain showers around the Louisiana Delta region. Some of it's pretty heavy, but the thing is, it's all part of a low pressure area which will be diving south into Gulf waters. And as it does that, kind of falls apart. It doesn't really have a whole lot of punch to it as it heads southward into the Gulf, and so that's why I keep our rain chances at about 20% or so. Better shower and even some snow shower chances as you get closer to the Ohio Valley and then march northward into Canada. So if you're traveling today and you're heading to, say, Cleveland or Cincinnati or Toledo or even areas in West Virginia, you could encounter some airport delay because of, or travel delays certainly, because of some of those slippery road surfaces. Deep south looks pretty good, but the Louisiana Delta region could also see some impact from some of the rain showers around. The cloud cover stays with us, mostly in the form of kind of a high, thin cloud, but occasionally we'll see some lower level clouds move through. And as I mentioned, despite the clouds, our rain chances are pretty minimal. Forecast for beach and boating today, well, the clouds out there, but the winds are out of the southeast at about 10 to 15, so not all that bad today. 72 will be our daytime high, warmer than we have seen in some days, with a rain chance filtered in the next couple of days, but only at about 20%. And then as we head into Wednesday, we kind of clear it out just a little bit. But on Friday, a frontal boundary approaches. This could be a first alert weather day on Friday with a 50% rain chance, and then some cooler temperatures in time for the weekend. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at the roads out there this morning, everything's running pretty smooth. Just a few spots to give you a heads up on. If you're heading southbound on 301 near State Road 70, you are going to run into a little bit of congestion out there in Manatee County. Heading down to North Sarasota County, roads are pretty good out there today. You've got a little bit of a slowdown on Clark Road and then your typical morning slowdown on University Parkway. And then in South Sarasota County, things are running pretty good out there, so not a bad morning at 5:49 on this Monday morning. In this hour's Health Smart, flu season is hitting early and hitting hard. Nearly every state in the country has reported widespread flu activity. According to state health officials, 27 people younger than the age of 65 have already died from the virus so far this season. That's compared to just 4 last season. Nationwide, there are already more than 41,000 cases confirmed, which is more than twice as many as this time last year. Now, if you're sick and you believe it might be the flu, doctors are offering this advice.
If the fever persists and you're not able to control it, you're weak and fatigued, and you're not able to keep fluids down, then you probably need to be evaluated.
Now, the good news, it's not too late to get the flu shot. The bad news, health officials say it's only about 30% effective against this current flu strain. Well, if you are a calorie-conscious wine lover, you have probably stumbled upon Skinny Wines and did a little happy dance because they claim to provide the same delicious wine, but without all those pesky calories. But here's the downside. Are those calorie savings worth the compromise? Well, Skinny Wines have 15 to 30% fewer calories. Now, you could save anywhere from 20 to 40 calories on a typical glass. Wine experts say the calorie savings from Skinny Wine isn't actually that much, though. Now, if you really want to know where the big difference is, white wine has much more sugar than reds, containing nearly 1 gram more of sugar. So savor every sip and maybe tally up those calories elsewhere. And bartenders in Wisconsin are now learning how not to just serve drinks, but also save lives, specifically how to save someone overdosing on opioids. The AIDS Resource Center of Wisconsin hosted a class teaching bar staff to identify an opioid overdose and how to administer Nexalon. That's going to keep someone alive. Now, each of the participating bars will keep that on hand in case of an overdose. Officials are hoping to spread the program outside of just Milwaukee. Still ahead, we're going to update your top headlines and a true sportsman. We're going to tell you how this Michigan swimmer saved a competitor's life. It's coming up right after this.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that. And with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
It's time to take a road trip.
If you love the beach, Alabama's Gulf Coast has 32 miles of sugar white sand and turquoise water. Looking for a room with a view? We have them. Beachside and bayside. There's incredible history. Whoa! And the seafood is fresh from the Gulf. Another round of shrimp for my friends. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffy Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today. It has been a billion-dollar lottery weekend. A lone Powerball ticket was sold in New Hampshire, matching all 6 numbers, and not to one of us. That just a day after a Mega Millions ticket was sold in the Tampa Bay area, worth $450 million. Plus, Governor Rick Scott is getting ready to deliver his last State of the State speech tomorrow. The topics are expected to overlap with what he talked about in 2011, jobs and tech cuts. And it's a big day for Manatee County parents. School choice begins today for high school students. And finally this hour, a Michigan teen and varsity swimmer, Xavier Staubs. He had just finished a medley relay when, in the midst of all these cheers, he noticed people trying to get his attention because a competing swimmer, Cameron Sampson, was unconscious and near the bottom of the pool. So Xavier jumped back in the water to save him. Others joined in and helped to get Cameron out of the water, including an EMT and an intensive care nurse who just happened to be attending that swim meet. Now, Cameron's mother says it is the first season that he's ever done swimming. It's his first meet as well. He's now home after being treated in the hospital for some breathing issues, but he is still recovering and he does plan to swim again. So that is the ultimate in sportsmanship right there, saving a competitor.
Oh, can you even imagine?
I know,
Wow.
great story.
Oh, he's going to be a hero now. He is a hero. I mean, that's fantastic. Oh, geez.
He is.
So we have some cloudy weather out there right now. We also have a chance at seeing some showers over the next several days, but much warmer temperatures in the forecast. Still a little too cold to swim around here, though.
A little bit too cold still, but it's a beautiful day. We still have another full hour of news and headlines coming your way next.